In the top side, rocking the golden Ryota, we have SneakyDragon. In the bottom side, we have the. Does Sedge always pick reds? This is my
No,
question.
that is the red is the colorblind Sedge setting. He actually picks the teal color,
Ah, okay.
which I guess gets set to red when you're in colorblind mode. So he always goes with the teal Sedge.
Makes sense. And of course, yeah, the game does have colorblind support options, which I leave on by default because we will, of course, always cater to. Ideally, I'd actually want it to always just be red versus blue, but it does leave the option for players to choose other colors and like those get displayed. But in this case, we are seeing very, very quick turn ones. This is going to be very different from the previous match. Both these players very experienced playing on timers. So
This is actually quite surprising. Interested to know how familiar these players are with this map. So I personally have never seen this map before, and I know that when I uh, to a map for the first time, my opening turns are very slow as I try to figure out how to not make a really suboptimal opening, especially on a map with low health commanders at the start, which really has an extra layer to the calculation. But we're seeing both players seem very comfortable with this opening, um, exactly where they want the swords to go.
So I was talking to SneakyDragon before the broadcast. He has played a lot of games on this match. There was a recorded game on my stream earlier this week with Sedge playing on this match. Very, very close finale. Both players pushed and they both got the enemy headquarters to 1% health on their turn. Uh
Oh,
yeah, it was a rough way to go. It would have been a rough way to go for either of them really, but Sedge took it. Uh of course, getting the turn, he did the 1% first. When opponent responds with their own 1%, Sedge just gets the finish. So my understanding is there's two ways to play this. You play very aggressive and push your commander into the enemy HQ, or I wonder if that was a mistake on Sedge. He didn't. Oh no, he decapped. Sorry, I'm being a bit.
oh
I
yeah, the decap. Yeah, it can look like he misclicked and
Yeah, but they're both getting decap. Sedge gonna build. So Sedge is now on a slow groove. He was very slow. Uh,
and
before
this
this.
seems like a map where slow groove may not be such a hindrance. You get that free hit at the beginning, and it looks like Sedge may have an opportunity to go over to the left side of the map and do another couple of hits, especially if Sneaky opts to sword to the right, cap that village. Also, looks like Sedge is definitely gearing more aggressive play at the center based on the way he's positioned his commander for the cap, whereas Ryota noticed capping from the back side of the village. So Ryota's probably looking to make a slower push to the center. And this feels like a very typical Sedgehun move. Um, the way Sedgehun really tends to play, he tends to play very aggressively early game, try to get some advantage or a positional advantage, and then camp out until his groove is up. That Sedge groove is up, you just can't approach him with anything. He's so scary. You can't get anywhere near him. So he's gonna try to camp it out, I think.
Yeah, and like actually, Sedge is one of those players that like when we first started seeing people play, Sedge has been around since the very beginning. Like he's been around the community since I've been in it. He got a lot better at the game over time. And like it used to be like you would see him go for these Sedge setups, like get a bunch of kills and then die. Very, very good at maximizing damage while keeping Sedge alive. Keeping his commander alive, he just like doesn't die. And this capture on this village I'm not sure about. He's gonna build lots of Sedge group very quickly this way.
I disagree with this village capture entirely. Against some commanders, and he's trying to back it up with this knight, but really the knight and sword can't punish Sedge sufficiently. Sedge is within range to heal himself off another village, and Against some commanders, groove denial isn't really worth it. Like if you're playing against Mercia, for example, she's just going to get her groove no matter what, and there's nothing you can do about it. But against Sedge, it is really important for you to try and win the game before he comes online. Once he comes online, it's really an uphill battle if you reach him in anything correctly.
Yeah, Sedge with groove is terrifying to play against. So here's the other thing as well. Like you look at Sedge when he has groove up. So for people that are new, I know this isn't the beginner stream, but Sedge keeps his groove so long as he kills something with it. If it gets the killing blow, he keeps his groove, so he can just continually use it throughout an entire game. And, Sedgehun's a very, very good player. It's kind of in the name when it comes to playing Sedge, where he will keep the groove the whole game. I've never seen him lose groove once he has it.
I think seen Sedge as a pick get more and more popular among top level players, and I think that's something you'll see in common with them is that once they get groove, it's not going away. Seen a lot of Sedge come out from Red Jams, from Loveless, who's been picking Sedge a lot. She has played a little bit of Sedge on like bigger maps. Just once they get that groove, then you're in big trouble. Now on the other hand, Ryota flexing his new Ryota's already groove. So he's already getting ready to finish stuff with his super dash.
Yeah, I'm curious when we're gonna see it because it comes out very quickly. It goes for the neutral in the village, which I think is a good choice. It goes for this like economic play. Doesn't like. Okay, Sedge doesn't have groove yet. Sedge is gonna have groove pretty soon. But Ryota
75.
Yeah, 75%. But like one thing Ryota has, like even though he has fast groove, it is actually worth just banking it a lot of the time because it forces your opponent to like position their units in a certain way that you can punish.
That's it's sort of like the first Mercia play there, and SneakyDragon is going full on YOLO right here. This is an absolute YOLO with this knight. Sedge actually, I believe, can't reach it, which is kind of wild. But this knight is extremely deep. And then there's the dragon to back it up. So SneakyDragon going really aggressive with this play. He's really going for all-in pressure. And I think he's sort of letting Sedgehun repeatedly village to get groove in order to keep Sedgehun from moving down the map. Which is kind of a weird trade-off, and I'm not sure I agree with it. He's trying to just pin Sedgehun to this village so that his knight can roam around a little bit more freely.
Actually, looking at it, so if Sedge stays and hits the village, I think he gets groove, but the dragon can run up and hit Sedge for free. There's no punish, and then the dragon both threatens Sedge and the headquarters.
And there's this knight that can really comfortably position itself for an HQ crit. So actually, Sneaky's a lot of pressure on the HQ right now. And Sedgehun's pressure isn't really... Sedgehun's not really responding with the same level of aggressiveness, although he does have two knights out, staring Ryota down.
So the other thing here, though, is like Sneaky. I mean, this could be a very short game. We could see Sneaky go for a lineup with these swords and just run Ryota into Sedge's side of the map.
That's very true. I'm wondering if Sneaky can find a way for Ryota to reach HQ. That would be a super flashy play. That would be really sweet. I don't think there's any way you can make it happen. I think this knight is way mispositioned.
I think Sedge is kind of aware of that play and is now responding appropriately by like moving units to avoid like the big Ryota play.
I think that's pretty smart. And weirdly enough, because of this pressure that Sneaky's put out with the dragon and the knight, actually forced Sedge to concede that village, the one that he was feeding all the onto. He's actually ended up taking that, which is really pretty surprising. That's not what I was expecting.
There's a very good groove here that could come out from Ryota where he just goes all the way across the map and hits Sedge at the end. And he jumps like I want to say 7 or 8 times before he reaches Sedge.
Well, if Sneaky's thinking about it, I mean, he's got plenty of time to line it up. We're only on turn 7. He's got 27 minutes left.
Yeah, pops the village, which I think is a good play. This dragon continues to threaten center. I'm wondering if it's gonna happen.
Do it. Yeah, he can make it reach. And I think he can make it reach and still hit Sedge with the knight because he's got this dog.
Yeah, there's a dog, there's these swords as well to extend.
Okay, it looks like he's probably not opting for it. Yeah, he doesn't go for it.
He just goes for the village capture. Here's the thing though, is that option is still on the table. He could still just decide to go, I'm just gonna jump across the whole map and kill your commander.
That is true. High move units with Ryota are so versatile because they can let Ryota move super far. So like this dragon in particular can a lot of mobility options. The mage, the dog. He's got a number of swords scattered in various places. God, this knight in the lower left. Just that has no answer.
Yeah, look at this income difference as well. 1,500 to 1,000. Sneaky's playing really aggressive and it's paying off quite big.
That is. This is where Sedge really falls down. Not Sedge the player, but Sedge the CO. When you're not at least even, you can't force a situation where you have to fight in big groups. It's really hard to make Sedge work because he's all about turning 2-Kos into Okos, and there's no chances for Sedge to get that last bit of groove, chances for Sedge to fight safely. So he's really very serious position right now. Game could actually be over pretty soon, depending on how this plays out.
Ooh, doesn't kill the sword with the knight. Not guaranteed, has to high roll, like pretty high. Actually, that was a high roll, it still doesn't kill, but... Alright, Sedge has engaged Sedge mode. So, potentially we're gonna see a lot of damage coming out here. Gonna just move units into position. Dogs are very good with Sedge, they can weaken units so that he can get Sedge groove on them. Mage is in position as well to hit the dragon. And here's like a really important thing. So like getting finishing blows on this is super important. Especially when you can move to safety after. So like the mage hits the dragon. Normally that's like, oh, well I just did lots of damage. But with Sedge it's like, oh, I just kill your dragon and run away with Sedge. And I can do that.
That actually is one of the things that makes Sedge groove, especially now that it's at this slow pace. It actually can be more powerful than Ragna, because it can kill stuff and then still run away. Or sometimes you don't even need to use it to kill like 10 units or something the way that you would do with the Ragna groove. Sometimes you just kill one thing and then run back to safety, and that can be really powerful. Where you can like a giant down to 30% and then kill it and run away. So Sedge is very versatile when he's grew up. He can make a lot of plays that can. This dragon's going to need to be very careful of that. Oh, it is very tempting for the dragon to stay and kill the knight, because even though bridge and road are not the same thing, the same defense value, the dragon will still one-shot that knight.
Oh yeah, it's guaranteed as well. 105, so the low roll will still kill it. Oh, here we go. Oh, that wasn't as big as I was expecting.
Oh, lame. I mean, I guess that's the advantage of Ryota being fast now, is that you don't have to do anything cool. You can just like spend your groove to do random stuff because you'll get it up in 2 turns again anyway.
Yeah, it's just like a nice positioning thing. I was expecting, like, if the swords had run down, he could have got all the way across the map, hit Sedge, and then escaped. That would have been pretty cool. He probably would have wiped out like this dog, hurt the knight, all this other stuff, but
He probably could have killed at least Og and then swords, one or both of the swords to the lower left of Sedge, as well as probably doing like percent to Sedge maybe, depending on how many jumps he got. But that is a pretty good play, and these two dogs that he hit are probably not going to escape. Probably getting on at least one of them. So he should be able to get his group back up again really soon.
Yeah, this dragon, like the entire right side of the map is completely open to the dragon now. You're gonna need to see like a witch come out to really defend that, which forces a witch build, which is good, especially when you're on like this kind of income lead where it's like 1400 to 1100.
Sedgehun only has 1100 gold, which is a pretty light income to be using Witch Hex. And then you're taking yourself down to only 800 usable per turn, which is pretty measly income. Plus, Sneaky's Witch is pretty well positioned in the center. It has a lot of coverage, and notice he's keeping the Witch sort of roughly within range of the dragon, or by which I mean mage, Jesus. He's keeping his mage in a good position, sort of roughly in range of this dragon. So he's got the two of them sort of tag teaming around the map, so a witch build would kind of be moderately effective anyway. Here it comes.
Yep.
That is smart.
Yeah, it just covers all of the right sides. The dragon can't just do free damage now. Although, one thing that can do free damage is Ryota. He can definitely, like, he'll kill the village regardless of anything else. So he's definitely in, like, a good position.
Oh, so he can still kill this village. Sedgehun did make it a little bit scarier. Ryota has to stand on the bridge, which is not what he wanted. Wait, would he have had to stand on the bridge? Oh, that's a mountain under the dragon.
Like
he would have had to stand on the bridge anyway.
One thing I think, though, that's a smart play from Sedge is that Ryota is guaranteed to kill that village, so Sedge just drains it for everything it has, and then says, "Okay, you can kill it if you want. I'm done with it."
That absolutely makes sense. There's no point in health available. Kill those. Healing swords is really cost effective in general, especially when they're this far away from your racks. Generally, the further away from your barracks something is, the more cost effective it is to heal it, because you are
opportunity
money,
cost.
Getting turns of movement. You're getting turns of movement, and you're freeing up the racks to do something else. So as opposed to like sacking your sword and building another one, when your swords are like already 2 or 3 turns away from your racks, it's super cost effective to just heal them.
Yeah, and actually, one thing that was smart about hitting, like, capping this village and forcing Sedge, or not forcing Sedge, but making it very, like, a prime target for Sedge hitting it to build Groove, was that it's kind of awkward for Sedge to move away from that position. Like, he can't really move up through the center because there's this village blocking. And he also can't really push down to the south because it's too far away, because this knight got a bunch of free damage over here. Now there's a sword that's going to get a free capture on a village. So Sneaky's just going to keep building an economic lead. And like...
Yeah. But what Sedge is trying to do here, he's trying to despite the disadvantage, he's really trying to reset the game state to something that's he's trying to put big pressure in the center so that he can force Sneaky to respond to it by saying, hey, I'm just going to charge up the center and kill all of your stuff if you don't do something. And then once he gets into that sort of fight, that big army blob situation, he can just start murdering everything. I feel like that's what he's trying to do with this big bump around Sedge.
Oh, that force around Sedge actually is like really scary now that you talk about it.
I mean, he's got two knights, no pikes. Where I don't. Okay, there's one pike over by the racks for SneakyDragon. So these knights are they can just kill anything. There's nothing to stop them. The dragon is out here. You know, the mage still threatening.
Ryota is very safe where he is as well, so like, not gonna see much threat in him. That dragon position is really nice because now like those knights just can't break through that center position anymore.
Yeah, that dragon move is actually super smart. It's kind of shutting down Sedge's play a bit, and certainly don't want to push through the river. Trying to push through the river in this situation is a death sentence.
Oh, absolutely. Especially with knights who like really struggle to move in river. They get that like 4 movement cost to move across it, which is really rough.
That's a non-starter. So this actually is kind of, I think from this very explosive start, like we're going to see the game slow down a little bit here. Both players are gearing up for this kind of gradual push. I'm definitely going to expect to see. I see a witch coming out from SneakyDragon, and I would be surprised if I saw more mages coming out from both sides as they slowly just try to take over in this air war.
One thing I'd like to see, I don't know if it's going to happen. Yep, moves the harpy down, uses the mountain crit bonus to take out that village. So we're looking at Sedge, 900 income on this turn. Sneaky is just
is vicious.
Yeah,
is really bad. Sedgehun's going to have to make an impact with his units soon. Looking at the unit count, 6 of those. So SneakyDragon is up by 7 units, but 6 of those are. So the unit counts are basically even. I don't think that Sedgehun can reach anybody. That's the issue here. This dragon the mage can't reach the dragon. Means Sedgehun can't actually reach any units to groove them, so he can't go anywhere. Can't move his knights through. He can't push into Ryota's army. So he's just going to have to let these turns tick by as he tries to reposition himself, and every turn that goes by, his disadvantage gets more and more pronounced as he can't build anything.
And like the other thing that's going to become more and more of a factor, ooh, nice dogs. Good use of them. Probably going to see a sword push up and injure this mage. Oh no, actually the sword can't reach that. Because there's a mountain there, of course. But
oh god, the mountains. Yeah, this terrain, stopping the knight from, well, this is a tough position. I'm not surprised to see Sedgehun just like pushing in pretty aggressively here, but he one thing that I'm focusing on is that knight down into the lower left corner is still there. Sedgehun still can't really do about it. He's having to keep a knight camped by his HQ. Okay, he's moved the knight away from his. So his HQ is actually in danger now. Dragon can reach the HQ. No, with the sword, the dragon can't reach it. Dragon can't reach the HQ. The harpy can reach the HQ, and harpy on HQ actually does surprisingly okay damage now.
I think it's base 30. Oh, moves the knight in, which I think is a good decision.
Okay, that was smart. It let him. He rearranged the knight so he got. Okay, it's pretty smart. He didn't really need to rearrange the knights that way, but yeah, he did see the harpy hit. Harpy can still. The HQ actually can go in the forest. Stops the crit from was the real harpy plus knight crit would have pretty much sealed the game. Oh, the thief.
Ooh, Leah. I'm behind on economy, so I'm going to steal some of yours play.
I think this is actually kind of smart. SneakyDragon's villages in the corner. Like, Sneaky really doesn't want to send anybody to those 3 villages. That's a huge waste of resources. So having the thief up there and just like take it for free would be nice.
I could see him use Ryota to like kill this dog though and get groove. There isn't like a huge punish on that. So like Ryota moves to the right, kills the dog. It's kind of on its own and nothing's really there like to get a follow up. Okay, there's some swords. Like one sword could hit.
The knight can hit him, but the knight can't. Okay, well, he did it anyway. Yeah, the knight could have gone through the village to hit him if the, if Sneaky hadn't blocked it. Anyway.
And actually, because he's on 90% groove, he will have groove next turn, because it will build by 10% this turn.
That's true. So yeah, he didn't even really have to do anything to get that groove charge back up. So the fact that he burned it for like not very much really is mattering. Sedgehun wasn't able to take advantage of the time when groove was down. It's actually only been 3 or 4 turns.
Something that I'm a little worried about though is like this dog on the right can now kill that split soldier, and like that opens up that right hand side just a little bit more.
Yes,
but
it does.
So we could potentially see like dogs around. I don't know if Ryota's at the right percent, but we could see this like dog that's by the river run in suicide crit and potentially get killed by the counter hit. But Sedge would need like
so the archer and the pike move in to back it up, but the mage and the dragon make are going to be really important, because if that dog can move it, that dog can kill that foot soldier in the open. Suddenly the knight can move through, and then start to see SneakyDragon's force fall apart a little bit. Because then Sedge can start hitting stuff, and that's the last thing you want to happen, is Sedge hitting stuff.
Yeah, puts the mage on the mountain, which, you know, kind of where a mage just wants to be in general. Like, positionally or not positionally. People talking about suiciding units to get kills. So, maybe we'll see that happen. I don't think this knight... Actually, knight plus witch hex would do it. So, we could start seeing like a bunch of sword suicides and stuff come into effect here.
Sword suicides against who? They won't be able to suicide against... full health sword won't be able to suicide against Ryota.
6 health could though.
6 health could, and then the 2 health dog could, but keep in mind that because Ryota is on that bridge, taking more damage than on planes, so that actually makes suiciding more difficult.
Although suiciding a dog from the river might work, because you're talking minus 20% defense.
Oh, that's true. Although if he was going to try that, he would definitely... If he was going to suicide a full health dog from the river, he'd want to do it where he attacks anything else.
Yeah, so I guess like it comes down to, is this the play? It's
Well, as people are pointing out, Sedge actually can't reach Ryota.
Yeah.
Kind of.
So he would have to do like a follow-up with like... Yeah, there isn't really much to follow up with. Like he'd only just be able to like damage Ryota, he wouldn't be able to kill.
Meanwhile, he'd be sacking 2 units, possibly sacking 3. I'm really sure it's worth it. I'm sure it makes a whole lot of sense to just pour a bunch of damage into Ryota, and he can take this opportunity to kill a bunch of Ryota's dudes. If he kills that 7 HP sword.
Oh, uses a sword to do it. Has Hex though. Okay, so we can crack this open.
Okay, yeah, he's got Hex. Say, because if he couldn't crack through that, that would blow. Now he's probably going to want to use the Knight for the guaranteed finish on that second sword. Will really open the floodgates, because then the blocker on this village is gone.
Lots of dogs could start streaming in and hitting Ryota.
Oh, actually, you know what? This is a better play than I had in mind, because now he can use the dog to finish off the 9 HP sword. Dog do it. I think the dog will get a guaranteed finish on the 9 HP sword. But he could suicide the 2 HP dog into the 9 HP sword, then finish with the full health.
Oh, right. So we're just gonna backseat game for a moment and theorycraft. I think use the knight to finish. Run the dog through the river, because I don't think anyone else can use that river hit anyway. get a dog crit, suicide the 2 health dog, then follow up with a
Have lethal.
mage crit.
Might have lethal because he's got 1 dog crit from the right hand dog. He's got the 2 health dog suicide.
The
He's
6
got
health
the
sword.
health sword suicide, and more dog crit from the river. This might be lethal. Now I have no idea what's happening.
Sedge is just appearing. But... Alright, goes for the suicide, so lands the... Yeah.
Down for it. I think he's got it.
Yep.
He got it. Wow.
Oof.
Oh, wow.
Sedge really... my game's frozen for some reason. Oh, there we go. It's just the server being a bit slow. GG to Sedgehun. Wow.
Good game. That was crazy. I mean, behind for higher game. Really just from the word go. Sedgehun was on the back foot, and then pulling it out with actually the very SneakyDragon style lethal. That was very much something that I would expect SneakyDragon to pull. It really goes to show one of the interesting things about this game, I think, is that you can just always lose. Like, it doesn't matter how far ahead you are, how far behind you are, you can always